وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي، أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Morning, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem, editor of wnzk.com. This show is co-sponsored by U.S. Arab Radio and wnzk.com. Thank you so much for being with us. The day is Friday, September 17th. I can't believe summer is almost over. We have 4 days left or 5 days left of summer. And then fall comes in. Welcome. And I kind of like the fall. You know, the fall weather. It's really, really nice and cools off, and it's time to unwind and enjoy the weather. The food during this month is excellent. It's full with vitamins. We will talk about that a little bit more later in the program. I want to thank you for being with us. The number here is 248-557-3300. Give us a call should you have a question or a comment. We would love to hear from you, what's on your mind. And there's a lot in the news today, the vaccine, the development with the vaccine, and then the Delta variants that is really wreaking havoc on the medical system. Yesterday, Beaumont sent a message saying that they're to capacity or something like that. And then, they're really... they're asking people if, to go there only if they need help. I believe that was the message that was sent, it's very alarming. It's unfortunate we didn't get enough people vaccinated to, I know it's a personal choice, but we didn't get enough people vaccinated to really turn a corner on this virus. It is your choice to get vaccinated, but keep in mind that the more people get vaccinated, the more control we will have on this virus. There's a lot in the news today, and then we'll get to that shortly. And we will talk to the Dearborn school superintendent to get a good grasp on what's going on with the school system. The children went back, and as you well know, only children from 12 to 15 got the vaccine. 12 and younger did not. And nationwide, the news is that more and more children, within that age, younger than 12, are being brought into the emergency system, the emergency rooms, because of the coronavirus. So we hope that everybody is taking precautions because, these are our precious ones. We want to make sure that they're taken care of, they're healthy, they get their education. And I do agree with everyone that, in-person learning is the best. Sometimes we may not be able to do it. We will have to do what we have to do. The difference between determination and arrogance is the fact that we're determined when we have good information and we're doing things the right way. And then arrogance is we are determined to do something regardless of whether we have good information or not. And that's not a good idea, to really to carry on and make decisions based on that, specifically when they affect others. It's like this morning I read in the news that this gentleman on the he's a weatherman in the Upper Peninsula for 30-something years, and he refused to take the vaccine, and he was let go. And it's so unfortunate. It is his choice to take the vaccine. At the same time, it is, it affects other people. If your choice does not affect other people, I think it is your choice to do that. It's your choice to select what kind of medical treatment you want. But if it affects other people, then you have to think about how it is affecting other people. So, it's just something to keep in mind in what's going on. Also, in California, and I'm just going to talk about this very briefly. In California, the governor there faced a recall, and he was retained by the people. And I understand, and I really support the right for people to hold as many elections as they want. But when we use the system only to antagonize the other group we don't like, that's abuse. Okay, he was just being recalled because of certain issues that they're not, they may be important to the people who went for the recall, but if you look at it from totality, it was waste of resources. Okay, the campaigning, the money, the efforts, we could have put this effort to solve other issues. So, ideology should not trump common sense. Common sense is very important. It's very precious. And ideology should not do that. So, and I understand that Republicans in that state didn't like Democrats, but that was not enough to, that was not enough to really, go for a recall. We have, the system is there for us to use for good things, not because he's a Democrat and I'm a Republican. I don't like him, okay? Or I just don't like the mask mandate, or I don't like this and I don't like that, and spending all that amount of money and efforts. And this is something that's festering nationwide. We're more divided than ever. If you ask, for first, to be clear, I'm independent. I'm neither Democrat, neither nor Republican, and I've voted both ways depending on who is running for office. And sometimes, as you well know, neither candidate is really the right candidate, but we vote for the lesser evil, just like what happened in the recent presidential election. As far as I'm concerned, neither candidate was really, my choice would have been my choice for president. Neither one of them was aligned with my values. But anyway, this division in the country is really ripping this country apart. It's, I was listening the other day to someone saying, we're willing to do so many things in different countries. However, our schools are crumbling, our bridges are crumbling, our roads are crumbling. Look what's going on in southeast Michigan with the flood. Why? Because we have an old system. Look what's going on in other parts of the nation when it comes, and even in Michigan as well. The lead pipes that's coming into your homes, the water you drink, is going through lead every day. Okay? Why do we lose power? Because most of our wires are outside and they're high on the pole. Okay? Why can't we have a system in which, if you go to Europe, most of the power is underground. In new developments, the power is underground in this country. Why can't we do that? We just gonna buy some submarines from Britain to build us some submarines, spending trillions of dollars. Why don't we spend that money on infrastructure to make our life easier, to make our life better? Healthcare is another issue, and why do we have to struggle to go to the doctor? Nobody should struggle to go to the doctor. Nobody should struggle to go to school. These are two things, education and healthcare are human rights issues. And once we understand that in this country, has nothing to do with being Republican, has nothing to do with being Democrat, has nothing to do with being any political, belonging to any political party. It has to do with us as people having that choice to go to the doctor if we want to go to the doctor. So it's just very important to really think about that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. And we're going to be talking to the Dearborn superintendent. Please stay tuned.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination, a COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can. Keep wearing masks correctly and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19 and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
At Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic in Dearborn, we provide effective physical therapy sessions in order to limit pain and discomfort. Top Rehab provides physical therapy care for any diagnosis prescribed by a physician, and we regularly see and treat conditions such as stroke, TMJ, fibromyalgia, sciatica, joint pain, and more. We use a variety of pain management methods, including modalities, soft tissue mobilization, and therapeutic exercise. If you're in need of physical rehabilitation or physical therapy, get the highest quality health care at Top Rehab. Most insurance is accepted, and we're open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 8 to 6, Tuesday and Thursday 8 to 5, and Saturday 10 till 2. Call for an appointment today at 313-846-0555. That's 313-846-0555. Choose Top Rehab Physical Therapy Clinic on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. Life's too short to be in pain. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab offers a great array of your favorite Mediterranean meals. Meals range from lamb specialties, shawarma sandwiches, and seafood dinners. Plus, they offer big trays of your favorite food and so much more. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab is located at 32839 Northwestern Highway in Farmington Hills and is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So stop in or call Kashat's today at 248-538-9552. That number again, 248-538-9552. Kashat's Mediterranean Market in Shish Kebab will definitely leave you satisfied.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with the Michigan.com. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, that kids are back in school. It's very challenging. But I must say schools are really doing great jobs of trying to keep our children safe, delivering education, whether it is at home and whether it is in person. And with us this morning is Dearborn Public School Superintendent Dr. Maleyko to give us a quick update on how things are going. We're a few weeks into the school year. Good morning, Dr. Maleyko.
Good morning, Mr. Hachem. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. How are you today?
Good. Doing well. Doing very well. Thank you. Getting ready for starting out a good day. Go ahead.
I just wanted an update on how schools are going, and then I know you're driving, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Sure, and I'm hands-free, just so everyone knows. Just juggling meetings. I will mention that I was very pleasantly surprised that we didn't have. I'm not going to say everything's perfect, but I will tell you this. I've been to every single school building in the first 2 weeks. We're now closing out the third week, and the students have been doing a great job, and the staff. Most of the students hadn't been in school for about a year and a half with the pandemic. Last year, we had the hybrid model that started in March. Now we bring back 20,000 students, and honestly, with our mitigation protocols, the masks, still promoting vaccines, sanitizing, trying to social distance where possible, but we're being honest. I mean, we have 20,000 students, and so we try to do the 3 to 6 feet, but it's not possible everywhere. At the elementary level, we have very low class size, so it's more possible than the secondary. But that's also why we applied for and were approved for a 100% virtual school at the beginning of spring. And we have about 700 students enrolled in that program. So those were parents that wanted to make sure that their students were online, so we provided that option. The other reality is yes, we are getting positive cases, but our mitigations are helping. We have nurses, and wherever needed, we will quarantine students. It's not, high numbers at this point. It tends to reflect what's going on with the community. As the community spread goes up, so does the schools. And not that it is a infection in the schools, but it could be someone that reported something, a staff or a student, or it could be that a staff or a student was in the building, and then we have to do contact tracing. That's one of the reasons why we promoted the masks, because if students that are all in the area have masks on and they have no symptoms, then they don't have to quarantine. If they don't, then they have to quarantine for 10 days. Although that guidance is starting to change, just came out last week, so that we also have the option of testing students to get them exempt from quarantining if they test negative for COVID.
Absolutely. The quarantine is at home, is that correct?
Correct. Or wherever, quarantine at home with the family, or wherever the family chooses. And that's health department regulation. It comes from the state, and then the Wayne County. For us, as Wayne County is our legal authority that will give us the orders and how we handle that. They do all the contact tracing. So, but having said that, overall, with the size of our district, we really do not have a huge number of quarantines, but we expected it was going to happen. That's the reality of what we're dealing with the pandemic.
Yeah. So if students are in class, and then all of a sudden we know that one of the students is test positive for the vaccine, do we test all the students, or how do we do that?
So what happens is, if there's a student, and it depends on what level. So if there's a student in the class, what happens is they talk to our nurses and our administrators, and they determine who was with the student within the 6-foot radius. So again, we're doing our best as well not to get students to intermingle as much as possible. So for example, in an elementary class, it may be the front of the class that you had students all in that area. And so what would happen is you'd look to make sure, now if the students are wearing masks, which is required, and they're wearing them properly and no one has symptoms, then they don't have to quarantine. Obviously at a secondary school, it's a little more challenging when you have students, walking through the halls, but we do have arrows that divide where the students should walk and try to keep social distance, that kind of thing. And so they would be exempt, and that's why we want all the mitigation to occur. The masks are one thing that the county had mandated. The district came out and decided on that prior to. We'll continue to promote the vaccines as well. And we do have a high percentage of our staff that are vaccinated, well over 80%. So we feel good there, and we're monitoring what's going on nationally. And hopefully, elementary students will be eligible soon, and then we'll help with vaccine clinics. We ran at least 7 or 8 clinics last year, including we were the first district. We bused students out to DMC when the 16-plus were eligible last April. So we've been very proactive with getting, the vaccine out there for parents and students, which we feel is the right thing to do. And, I've been very public about promoting the vaccine. I think that's, we're all tired of this pandemic. And the only way we can do is work together. If we get the vaccine, that's the way we can get that immunity built up in the community. Because really, the other reason is, why do we want to wear masks? I don't want to wear a mask. I don't think you want to wear a mask, none of us. But we're doing it for the greater good, because we want to keep students in school and keep people safe. That's why we're doing it.
Absolutely. Now, are you requiring everybody to get vaccinated, staff-wise?
No, we do not yet have a requirement, although I will say that could change in the future. Our district likely wouldn't be the sole body doing that. So for staff, it will be a little different than students, but the Biden administration, you probably saw last week, came out with requirements. Legal counsel for school districts is evaluating that. We don't have a clear determination, but we believe that it may be required for employers that receive federal funding with over 100 employees. Again, I'm not saying yet that that's 100%, but we're evaluating that. Now, I will say this. We are collecting vaccine cards from staff on a voluntary basis. We had most of our staff, we ran clinics at the DMC, the Wayne County Health Department, way back in February, March. And so we helped coordinate that effort with over 2,000 staff from Dearborn schools that were vaccinated. And so one of the reasons we're collecting the vaccine cards is just to have it on record. And it's voluntary right now, but the staff are required under MIOSHA rules to check in daily at the door with a COVID screener. But if they're fully vaccinated, they're actually exempt from having to do the daily check-in. So that's one of the reasons why we're also collecting the vaccine cards. I was vaccinated, I can't remember the exact date, but it was probably fully vaccinated late February, March, and I submitted my card to my HR department immediately, so it was on record, that way. So we're going to promote that with staff and students, and then, if there's ever a mandate, we'll do what we need to do to implement that and provide support for staff and students.
Absolutely. How about, is this to put an added cost on you as a district?
I mean, COVID has been an added cost overall. However, I will say this. We have received federal funding, and thankfully we did, to keep us going, because last year we thought we were going to have problems. But dealing with the COVID has, for sure. But I will say we received federal funding, and so we are getting one-time. It's not long-term. We actually used some of the funding, and you may have heard, Mr. Hachem, we had the largest summer program in the history of Dearborn schools and the largest in the state. We had 8,400 students in an 8-week summer program, 8-week for elementary, 5-week for secondary. Dr. Rice, the state superintendent, was talking to us about a model for that, and it was also mentioned by the AFT president, national president, Weingarten. And the reason we did this, we had over 1,100 staff work in it, and we compensated staff at a very fair level because we knew that the kids were not in school last year, and so we wanted to give them a head start. I've been hearing from principals and teachers, and I visited the program in the summer, and they said it really helped elementary students get acclimated so that they were ready. We started just before Labor Day. We had the waivers, so we started the last week of August, that it really helped that transition. We also know that because of the pandemic, not only Dearborn, but Michigan, and I'll say across the nation, we used to call it summer learning loss, where kids are out of school and they have time and you got to get some of them caught up, especially students that have challenges through, poverty or other things, or they're English language learners or special ed. And so what we wanted to do was get those students caught up. And so that's why we implemented the largest summer program in the state. And we're very proud that we did that. Again, that's not the full answer, but it's a great starting place. And we presented on that model before the Wayne County Board of Education, Wayne County RESA, this week, actually. So those are some things we're doing. We're also using some of that federal funding to upgrade our HVAC. We're going to put a significant amount into upgrading and making airflow. We have 2 HVAC technicians because we know with fighting COVID, the airflow is also another mitigation strategy. And we have very old buildings, beautiful buildings like Fordson, Salina, but 100 years old now. And so we need upgrades. So the federal funding is helping in that area. And we know that in the future we may come back for a bond. But one of the things we're doing is we're trying to use some of this federal one-time funding. It probably will never happen again. And we're trying to use that to offset so that it'll save taxpayers money. So if we spend some of this one time right now, once we come back for a bond, if and when we do that, because we're going to need it. We have very old buildings. It'll actually save money because we've already put a chunk into HVAC. The last bond that we went for that was narrowly defeated, we had a huge amount that was going for HVAC because we didn't have the funding. And so now we're being, fiscally responsible to try to save taxpayers' money. We've also refinanced our bond several times, and we've saved taxpayers' money that way as well. And we're looking to do that again in the school district.
Yeah. Are you facing any shortage of teachers or staff?
Yes, there is a statewide shortage. There is a national shortage. There is a shortage of bus drivers and all sorts of staff. We're doing well. We're competitive, but honestly, Mr. Hachem, I've been in education 26 years. I talked to a fellow colleague, superintendent. He said he's never seen it this way in 30 years. We had a massive retirement that hit the state of Michigan in November, December, and January, because you had a lot of teachers that could retire, and I think what happened was because of COVID, a lot of them said, that's it. Look, I'm going to retire, protect my family or whatever needed. And so that's what happened. So we have a lot of teachers, to be honest. The market is very tough. And, I was HR before I'm superintendent 7 years. I've been in the district 26 years. And I was at central office working as HR. And I've never seen it where, staff are jumping from district to district. We're in decent shape. I mentioned at the board meeting, we have just under 1,500 staff DFT teachers, 2,700 altogether staff. We have about 30 vacancies right now, maybe a little less than that, which is about 2%, so it's not bad. But we've hired over 100 teachers. And so we want to strengthen our partnerships with the university and colleges. The state is aware of this, and I'm actually calling on the state to continue to support trying to implement the pipeline for education. The one thing I will say that we're doing proactively is not only the partnerships with the universities, but we have that great partnership with Henry Ford College, and Mr. Fadlallah over there does a great job. He's the director, and I love working with President Cavalluna and our board. And we have so many students that go into those programs over at the college, and we're saving them tuition where they go into a 5-year program and get an associate's degree. Well, one of the early colleges we're running over there is an education early college. So we will literally pay 2 years of schooling for students to pursue a teaching degree. And then we can place them in our district. So that's another recruitment method as well. And so we feel good. But that is going to be a long-term solution. Short-term, Short-term, I'll tell you this. We have one of the highest starting salaries in the county. We negotiated that. We have some of the least amount of healthcare costs for our employees. And we've also worked with our unions on other things that we're going to do for our employees. We're going to continue to do that, but we have to be competitive. So anyone that's interested in applying for Dearborn schools, we need bus drivers, food assistants, we need teachers. We're not in trouble or anything, but there is a massive shortage out there. Some districts have actually had to cancel transportation because they don't have enough staff. We're not at that point, but we definitely do not have a surplus of bus drivers and attendants. So we need workers. If anyone's looking for a job, DearbornSchools.org, we have an HR site, and they can apply. We have multiple opportunities for employment, and they're good, decent paying jobs, and it's a great, again, I've been in the district 26 years. I've only worked for Dearborn Public Schools, and I love working here, and it's a great place to work with great student, staff, and community members.
Wonderful. Is there anything I haven't asked you that people need to know?
I would just say, you know what? I know there's a lot of viewpoints out there. We're going to do what we think is right for our students, staff, and community. I go to board meetings where I get massive amounts of emails, and I get emails that say, wear the masks, keep everyone safe. And then I get other emails that say the opposite. Then I get some that say, like sports, it's not safe, and others that say our kids need to be in sports. I want to assure the parents that I get a lot of that, and I appreciate the feedback. But the bottom line is I have to do with my team. We look at the data, and we're going to make decisions that are in the best interest of the students, the community, and the school, and the staff. And that's what we'll continue to do. That's what we've always done. We don't do any knee-jerk reactions. I'm not reacting to the next thing, because if everyone's aware, the one thing about COVID is everything changes the next day. So we've been very methodical with our approach. We have a great crisis team. We work together with our union heads. The Board of Education has shown great leadership, and basically what we're out here is to protect the interests of the students. With the COVID, it's been tough for everyone, and I would just say to parents, we understand the struggles you've had, the students, and hopefully we can continue to work together in a positive manner. And just a reminder that our staff members too are parents, right? So they're dealing with stressors just like everybody else. And so what I would say is let's try to work together in a positive manner. We all want ultimately we want what's best for kids, and that's what we'll continue to do. And I appreciate you allowing me to come and spend a few moments on your show, and thank you for your leadership as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us, specifically that you're driving and talking to us. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Are your hands feeling numb? Do you feel pain opening up a jar, turning a key? Are you noticing that your elbow and your shoulder are becoming stiff? Or were you recently injured in your arm? Hello, I'm Dr. Al-Majid Katranji, and at the Katranji Hand Center, which just recently opened down the street from the Somerset Mall, we can provide you with the latest in hand, wrist, elbow, and shoulder care. Visit us at www.katranjihandcenter.com to learn the latest techniques that we have to offer you, and I look forward to taking care of you.
Visit us in Troy at 1565 West Big Beaver Road, Building F, or call Katranji Hand Center for an appointment at 248-869-4263. That's 248-869-4263. Get ready for an amazing experience at Ishtar Restaurant on 15 Mile Road in Sterling Heights. Enjoy excellent hospitality from owners Ali Al-Baghdadi and Fatty Bonham, serving the best in Mediterranean food. Try Chef Ali Al-Baghdadi's famous shawarma, the best Iraqi grills and food, and the best Arabic and international dishes. Dine in our authentic atmosphere or take out. Call 586-698-2585 or check us out on Facebook. Ishtar Restaurant practices all CDC guidelines and is open every day 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Have an amazing experience today at Ishtar Restaurant, 3625 15 Mile Road, Sterling Heights. When it comes to reproductive medicine, IVF Michigan Fertility Centers are the recognized leaders. With locations in Bloomfield Hills and 5 other cities in Michigan and Ohio, IVF has experts in all aspects of the field. As a founding member of IVF Michigan Fertility Centers, Dr. Nicholas Shama is one of the leading reproductive endocrinologists in Michigan and Ohio. Dr. Shama has performed over 10,000 IVF cases and has helped thousands of couples fulfill their dreams of parenthood. American board certified in both obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive endocrinology and infertility, Dr. Nicholas Shama is a very caring, compassionate, expert physician that understands not only the medical but also the emotional toil of infertility on his patients. When it's time, get personalized care from Dr. Nicholas Shama at IVF Michigan Fertility Centers in Michigan and Ohio. Call toll-free 855-952-9600, 855-952-9600. Enjoy the first Syrian-style cuisine in Michigan. At Damas Cuisine and Catering, you'll find a wide selection of Syrian foods and sweets in our menu, like frikeh, poisi, grape leaves with steak, mashawi platter, hot mahashi, char-grilled kebab, shawarma, and much more. Get super fast delivery from Damas Cuisine and Catering right to your door. Order online at damascuisine.com/menu and track your order live. Damas Cuisine and Catering, 28841 Orchard Lake Road in Farmington Hills. Call 248-987-4985.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem. We're going to continue with the program, and I want to thank Dr. Maleyko for being with us this morning. Do we have Jerry on the line? Good morning, Jerry.
Mr. Khalil Hachem. Good morning,
Good morning.
Mr. Khalil Hachem, and thank you for taking my call, and thanks to you and your producer, Mike Shepka.
Absolutely.
Mr. Khalil Hachem, you talk about a lot of serious problems that we are facing regarding the pandemic. And, Mr. Khalil Hachem, to my opinion, the problem right now we are facing is even much bigger than the mask and the vaccine or the booster. Mr. Khalil, as you know, and you are a businessman, our community is facing a big shortage of workers in all positions. Just like Dr. Maleyko say, we are short of even a bus school driver and some other staff, hospitals, a gas station, grocery stores. Mr. Khalil, yesterday I stopped in numerous of businesses owned by our community, and I see a lot of stores complaining no regular products like beverages like Pepsi or Coke or milk or bread, and lack of a driver. That's a disaster, Mr. Khalil Hachem. And if our politicians do not find a solution, we are heading in a big economic disaster. So what do you think, Mr. Khalil?
Well, I mean, people need to go back to work, Jerry. The federal subsidy has ended, and you know, and if people, I don't know what the government can do to push people to go back to work, but you know, they did end the subsidy, and they're a lot more rigorous. If you apply now for help from the state in regard to unemployment, they're a lot more rigorous than before. Hopefully, we're going to see more and more people going back. I think what you know, and again, I believe in personal choices, Jerry. But if more people took the vaccine, we wouldn't be where we are right now. You know, as simple as that. It's called science. You know, when I get sick, I go to the doctor because he knows more than I do. Now I'm second guessing my doctor when it comes to the vaccine. That's not smart. So if more people took the vaccine, we wouldn't be where we are. And that is the biggest issue that we're facing, is that not enough people took the vaccine for us to really turn a corner on the you know, on the virus. And I understand personal choices, and I understand personal liberty, and I understand all of that. But nothing is obsolete, Jerry. You know, you got to have common sense. You have the freedom to stand on your porch and yell obscenity at your neighbor, but would that make a really good neighborly relations? No, it does not. So you have to have common sense, and common sense says that if you get sick, you can go to the doctor. And all of a sudden, we don't want to go to the doctor. Okay, we just want to leave it to whatever it is. Leave it to nature. Leave it.
Mr. Khalil, if you allow me,
these viruses are going to mutate.
Mr. Khalil, if you allow me, election is coming soon. Don't you think, Mr. Khalil, when it comes to mask or mandate the mask or the vaccine or the booster, why you don't leave it to our citizens to vote on November when it comes? Let the citizen express their feeling about the mask, the mandate, the booster, the shot. Because right now our country is split in two halves, Mr. Khalil.
This isn't how our system works. Not every time we want to make a decision, we have to leave it to the citizens to vote on. This is not. America is a representative system. Okay. We have people who represent us in the science field. We have people who represent us in the medical field. We have people who represent us at the government level. We have people who represent us. We elect these people to do job for us. Why are we going to do their job? So why are we electing them? First. Second, are we knowledgeable enough to make decisions on mask and on vaccine and on medical issues and on going to space and on? We're not. We don't have that knowledge. What are we going to be voting on? Based on emotion, based on information, because you're a Republican, you don't like Democrats, you're going to vote against the vaccine. And if you're a Democrat, you're going to vote for the vaccine because you don't like Republicans. That's not enough, Jerry. And not every time something happens, we have to put it to a vote. It doesn't work out that way. How many people vote in this country? It's 15%. 15% are going to make your decision. It doesn't work out. You have to elect people and select people who represent you. We send people to schools to become medical professionals. And these are the people who should make decisions, not us.
The lawmakers, exactly.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate
Mr. Khalil, thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Khalil.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, sir.
No problems. Have a good weekend. You know, what I don't understand is, that, you know, sorry about that. You know, when we get sick, we go to the doctor. When our car breaks down, we go to the mechanic. When the light is not on, we call an electrician. And when we need any of these services, what do? We just go ahead and go to somebody who has the expertise. And now we have the expertise but people don't want to use their opinion. It doesn't work out that way, and that presents a lot of issues of security as well. And speaking of security, our beloved chief is on the phone with us. Good morning, Chief Haddad.
Good morning. How are you doing? Uh-oh.
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. Police Dearborn Chief Police Haddad is with us this morning. Just to give us a quick update on security and also talk a little bit about the 9/11.
Yeah, are we connected?
Yes. I can hear you, Chief.
Oh, okay, sorry. My phone, all the buttons are dead right now, but as long as I got you, we're okay. Yeah, good morning. First of all, I can talk briefly about our crime picture in Dearborn, and then I'll give you some thoughts about how we're much better as a nation and as public safety due to 9/11. First of all, in Dearborn, we have approximately about an 8% increase in crime year to date, and it's somewhat alarming. However, there's a multitude of reasons for it. Back in April, they changed the law where many crimes that were arrestable, where you can put an end to a minor crime wave, if you will. Now we just have to cite and release them on the street. Bonds have been lowered, and a number of other factors. So certainly there's more guns on the street, twice as many as last year, and that's unsettling. But all in all, we're going to learn how to deal with that. And we haven't really leveled out yet, because come October 1, another major changes in the laws are going to occur. And what's going to happen October 1 is that anyone under 18 years of age will now be recognized as a minor and be charged as a minor. And that means they'll go to the Lincoln Center at the juvenile home in Detroit there for Wayne County. And previously it was anybody under 16 years of age. So now you're going to have another group of young people who are being charged as adults, and we had a mechanism to deal with the crime when it occurs. So we have to have a different way to deal with it now. And we'll just have to wait and see how effective or ineffective that will prove to be. But all in all, we respond to major crimes and we close most of the cases and we keep our community safe. Driving continues to be a problem. We've escalated traffic enforcement. We wrote over 4,000 tickets in the last 2 months. And some citizens in our community have reported that their neighborhoods appear to be quieter. So maybe we're getting the message out there.
Do we know why we have an increase in the crimes, Chief?
Well, I think because of the change in the law. Like, for example, shoplifting, over $1,000, we used to be able to arrest them, make them post a bond, and that would slow them down. But now, if you catch a shoplifter, you cite them at the store and you let them go, then they're free to go and commit another crime somewhere. There's not a consequence. And when there's no consequence, people know that, if they want to go out and shoplift, they know there's no consequence. They're willing to take a risk, where if there was a consequence and they knew they were going to get arrested if they're caught, it proved to be a deterrent over the last several years. So, and then there's an increase in domestic violence, if you will, and that's unfortunate. We're dealing with our social agencies to try to figure out if there's a way to reach the families and do a better job. But it's just a angry, frustrating time for most of us, and we just have to be patient with one another and try to figure out how to calm the situation down.
Yeah, excellent. What are your thoughts about 9/11? You mentioned you wanted to share your thoughts about that.
If anything came out of 9/11, at the time it certainly made the nation more cohesive and unified, but what it did for public safety, and that includes police and fire, it made us talk to one another. We became very interoperable with one another, and that includes equipment, from communications to, brass fittings for fire hoses on fire trucks. We were able to help one another. We work with the federal, state, and county level and our regional partners as well. And that came out of 9/11. Before that, everybody was kind of in a silo, just going about their business. But right now, as a city, as a state, as a country, we are in much better shape to respond to major disasters, including things like COVID and the last flood we had here. You know, we got FEMA online in about a week and a half here. They were already here visiting. So, you know, those all came out of 9/11 and the preparation that went on after that. So, you know, there is some silver lining. It will remain as the greatest assault on our country inside of the borders of our nation. We'll forever mourn those 3,000 citizens that were lost and the near 400 public safety officials that were lost. But out of that ruins came a better way to protect our country as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was an event in the city in regard to observing 9/11. Is that correct, Chief?
Yes, we had one in front of our police station, as a matter of fact. And again, police and fire put it on, and it was well attended, and we had an open house after. So, yeah, the city would not miss the 20th commemoration. We did honor the people that died in that, and the people that served in 9/11, and it was by all standards a pretty heartwarming commemoration of the event.
Absolutely. You know, I'm also pleased to notice that there has been less Islamophobic rants associated with 9/11, and the focus seemed to be more on cooperation and working together and remembering that unfortunate, really terrible attack on the United States. So, do you see the same thing?
I see the same thing, and it's a reminder for all of us that hatred and bigotry has no place in our country. And I told them that morning. I said, if anyone comes to have lunch with us here in Dearborn, and we're walking into a restaurant, nobody stops to check your pedigree, and that's the dangers of hatred and bigotry. And I always tell people, don't think they're talking about someone else. They could be talking about every one of us, because no one is going to come and check your pedigree. So when we allow hatred and bigotry to exist, it really harms all of us. And I remember during 9/11, people from the Bangladesh community were attacked severely. The Chaldeans in Detroit were attacked severely. And many of our Hispanic brothers and sisters were attacked as well, because they resembled what we look like. And so, bigotry really impacts everyone, although some people think we're talking about someone else. We're talking about all of us.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, Chief, I noticed that there is a spike in young people dying and suspectedly of OD. I know there has been a bunch of meetings to see what they can do in regard to that, but what is that correct? Is there a spike? Are we doing enough to do that, to counter that problem?
Well, when we lose one life, then obviously we haven't done enough. There is a continuing epidemic where people are dying. I don't know if it's up or down at the moment, but it's unacceptable. Increasingly, we're finding more and more fentanyl at the street level and more pills in huge numbers at the street level. And the sad part is that there's so much money in that you arrest some people, you confiscate, and then there's somebody taking their place. And it's no longer drugs coming from South America and Mexico. They're making a lot of the drugs right here, and it is a very, very crucial epidemic that we all have to work together to try to come in grips with.
Absolutely. It was heartbreaking to see parents standing at the podium eulogizing, their 16-year-old son. It's just it's unfortunate to see that, and it was heartbreaking, really. It's not supposed to work like that. Our children are supposed to eulogize us when we get old, and it was really heartbreaking.
Right.
So I think we need to do more, as you said.
Absolutely. Sometimes the view is, well, we didn't tell them to do that, but a young person and addiction just gets a grip on a human being in very unexplainable ways. It's not their fault. It's like, in my estimation, it's like shooting a gun into a crowd. You give young people drugs and they get addicted rather quickly. Somebody should be held accountable, and we can't blame the victim for that.
Absolutely. Chief, I want to thank you so much for being with us on a short notice, and I really thank you for always being ready to serve and protect.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
يلا سوا يا حبي نسهر عندي شام آيس كريم يا ماما يسلم لي أكله أطيب من اللوز والتين ياسمين الشام على خدك وحلاوة العسل بأكلك اسم الله قمر يا قمر يا منور شرفونا تعال عنا
28857 Orchard Lake مدينة Farmington Hills أو اتصلوا على 248-516-3130.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
Life is a nonprofit charity that's provided humanitarian aid and development to people and communities for over 25 years, regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life for Relief and Development rushes in to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Please help improve these efforts. Make your tax-deductible donation to Life now at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493.
When you're looking for the best in optical care, Dr. Imad Nakash is your doctor to see. With years of experience and thousands of successful procedures performed, you can trust your eyes to Dr. Imad Nakash. See Dr. Imad Nakash and his professional staff for your eye care needs. There's 2 locations to serve you. In Hazel Park, call 248-336-3937. 248-336-3937. In Rochester Hills, call 248-299-3937. That's 248-299-3937.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination, a COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can. Keep wearing masks correctly and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19, and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Maleyko for being with us, to thank Chief Haddad for being with us, and I want to thank you guys for being with us. This is always a pleasure to talk to you and to our listeners and everyone. To thank Jerry for calling. I just very quickly, I attended a funeral this week. Our friend, Dr. Shama, his son passed away unexpectedly at the age of 16. And I would like to present Dr. Shama with our sincere condolences to him and his family on this monumental loss. There is nothing worse than for parents to stand on the podium and eulogize their children, their young children. Life wasn't supposed to be like that. And, we ask the Lord to give them the strength to cope with this great loss. I don't know the son, but I know we've had Dr. Shama on our show many times, and we'll continue to work with him. And I've interviewed him personally. He's an incredible doctor and an incredible member of our community, supportive, support many causes, and great human being. Wonderful family, and our hearts are broken for them and their families for their loss. We ask the Lord to bless them all. And we only have 1 minute left, so I just want to let you know that the real estate market is not as crazy as it was, but the prices are still high. And if you're looking for a home, this is a good time to buy. And because normally during the year, June or July, May, June, July, specifically June, are some of the hottest months to sell. But the market hasn't slowed down, much at all. Prices continue to rise. If you're in the market to buy, this is a good time to buy because now we can negotiate more with sellers. If you have a property to sell, you need to sell it now because we don't know. We don't expect prices to drop next year, but we can't guarantee that. So you still get a really good price for your property. Should you need any help, please let me know. 313-819-0101. 313-819-0101. Or you can log on to our website, yamichigan.com. YAMichigan.com. Thanks to everyone who was on the show. Thanks to all the listeners. Thanks to Mike for a great production. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye now.